Welcome to the Iolani School podcast. I'm John Tamanaha, and this is our 24th episode as we continue to visit with people associated to Iolani School to hear their personal stories. This time we sat down with Andrew Park of the class of 2022 a couple days before he became an Iolani alumnus. Andrew is from Seoul, South Korea, and is one of 11 recent graduates who hold the distinction of spending all 4 of their high school years within Iolani's boarding program, which was reinstated in 2018 after a 59-year hiatus. As you will hear, Andrew is an extraordinary young man who has contributed to our school community in so many special ways. He will be attending Stanford University in the fall. Of course, Andrew provides us with an insider's perspective on the boarding program, but he also tells us about his experiences with Iolani's excellent robotics team. In addition, Andrew details what it was like to get accepted to his dream college and listen for a special guest who happened to stop by and join the conversation. Thanks for downloading. Please enjoy. So what does it feel like to be this close to graduation?
Well, to be honest, I can't even sense this. I can't believe that I'm graduating. I've been here 4 years, and while I was living in the dorm, it felt super long. Definitely, each year, all the tests, all the stress, the rules, regulations, all the passes I have to put in just to get out of the dorm and play with my friends. It felt really, really long. But at this point of the stage, just looking back, the day I moved into the dorm feels like yesterday. I can't believe that I'm graduating already, and I can't believe that in 2 days I'm gonna be attending the graduation ceremony, say bye to my friends, and I guess not come back to Hawaii for a while.
Yeah. So when I look at the time, it is 5:23 on Thursday, June 2nd. Mm-hmm. So in less than 48 hours, we'll be 23 minutes into the commencement ceremony.
Yeah.
And on August 12th, 2018, you came to this area of the campus.
Wow.
And I'm going to show you a couple pictures, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
That's you.
Horrible.
No, not horrible. That's you. Just a young man, an incoming freshman at the in St. Albert's Chapel, right over there, during that move-in day, surrounded by some friends you were meeting on the first day that you got to know.
Yeah.
And they too have graduated from Iolani School. How does that make you feel looking at those pictures?
Wow, this is a while ago. First of all, wow, I look young.
Lots changed between your freshman and your senior year.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, people say that my face looks the same since I was 4 years old. But hair and clothes and style wise, definitely a lot of change. And I'm also glad to see some of my friends' faces here, Daniel and Kevin, Kai, and Ningjen. Yeah, it's really good to see them because they're also graduating this year, and they stuck around for 4 years too in Iolani. So I'm really happy to graduate with them this year.
It's so cool. And so I was there. Obviously, I took these pictures. I wouldn't have missed that day for the world, really, because that was the day that the school reinstated the boarding program. There had been residential students in Iolani's history in the past. And I just really wanted to see that, not only a historical moment and to document it, but growing up in Hawaii, and then I went to the mainland. I graduated from USC, and I stayed on the mainland for 16 more years before coming back here. But that's Los Angeles. It's not really a boarding school place.
Yeah.
There's college and whatnot,
LA.
but that's just a really different idea. So I really wanted to see parents bringing their children, some as young as you, to become a freshman, a sophomore, or a junior at a school, and then dropping them off here, going to the orientation, and then leaving. it just kind of blows my mind.
Yeah.
I wanted to experience it and see it and see how that unfolds. And from my standpoint, I was really kind of blown away from the fact that there were so many smiles. There was a little bit of trepidation, I think, in some of the faces.
For sure.
Yeah, but largely there was a lot of excitement. So I want to ask you, what was it like on August 12th, 2018, when you came here for the first time?
Well, I remember that on the car ride here, when I actually had like all my heavy suitcases, not knowing like what to bring, with my parents coming over here, I was like super nervous. And then I remember like getting off the car and seeing all these like teachers and like current students greeting us.
Yeah.
That was like really a memorable memory. Like at that exact moment, that's when like I felt comfortable, and I guess my sense of like nervousness and anxiety kind of went away. And the campus was beautiful. Like compared to my old school or schools in Korea, Iolani definitely has like great facilities, and like the nature and like just the environment around here is like crazy good. So I think that's like one of the first things I remember entering into the student center to meet all the other students. That was some moment of delight and excitement, because before this I also went to boarding school, but when I first went to that school, I think I didn't do so well in terms of like introducing and meeting other friends. So I had this thought in the back of my mind thinking like, oh, this time I'm gonna make some good impression, so like I can start off my new boarding life with ease. And I guess it kind of went that way. So it's also one of my strongest memories.
So when you drove up to the auto line, you're coming here in the car with your suitcases, you didn't really know what to expect.
Definitely not.
So you didn't expect what you saw. Kind of like this welcoming party of students and red, black, and white banners and all sorts of just a welcoming environment. You know, they were filling out forms and doing all those sorts of things, but that's pretty cool to hear, because that's exactly how I think the school wanted you guys to feel.
Yeah, it was definitely a great experience. Like coming onto the campus, I remember me and my dad talking like, "Oh, where should we go?" And like we don't even know where we're supposed to go, or like if we're supposed to like drop off our stuff first, or like do the orientation and then drop off our stuff, and like all those tiny little things kind of accumulated over like the drive from my hotel to here, and like we were in a really anxious state. And then when we got off the car, we saw all these students and teachers ready to guide us to our next steps, and I guess facilitate our entry to the new program. So yeah, that was a really good moment there.
I remember seeing you guys went on tours with current students that took you around campus and whatnot. You remember that?
That was great too. Yeah, I actually was in. Well, I actually met that student, and then after a while, I realized that she was in my robotics club later on. So yeah, that was also a like fun relationship.
So you mentioned being at a boarding school prior. You're from Seoul, South Korea, but then you went to a boarding school in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Right. And so what's that whole transition like to be living at home and to go away to Hong Kong and then come to Hawaii for someone so young? I think that's kind of people in Hawaii, we don't typically do that. We're born here, our family's here, and we go to school here, and then sometimes we go away to college. But to be that young and to be moving around.
Yeah, not gonna lie, if I was born in Hawaii, I mean, I would not have left. It's great here. Korea is great too, but like the main reason why I wanted to study abroad was because I don't know what I was thinking as a child, because my mom told me that I was around like fifth grade when I actually decided to study abroad. So surely I must have not really thought it through before I made a decision to study abroad. But I think back then I just thought that the Korean education system won't provide the full experience of what I want as a student and as like a growing teenager to prepare myself for college or even like in society. So I think that's why I decided to first study abroad when I was in sixth grade.
Wow. So growing up in Korea,
Hmm.
and you're kind of looking for another type of experience. Is
Hmm.
that and so with that in mind, your idea is to go to high school in the United States. Is that kind of how what the mindset is for?
I think the mindset was like, I want to go to U.S. college,
Okay.
but then in order to do that, like I knew that I would have to go through a boarding school in high school because I've had a lot of, I guess, my friends' brother or sisters who like tried studying abroad, but going straight from Korean high school to U.S. college didn't really work out so well.
Mm.
Just in terms of like not academics, but more on like the culture or language side. So yeah, I think that's why I decided that I would like to go to U.S. boarding school, middle school or high school before I entered U.S. college. I guess another factor that really helped me decide or that really made me want to go to U.S. college were the summer camps that I attended over my, I guess, elementary school breaks.
Mm.
Like since third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and sixth grade for 4 years, I attended the programs in U.S. by like all these amazing colleges. And like back then, I didn't even know what kind of college they were. But you know,
Yeah.
like the experience there was like it was amazing. It was something that I never experienced before in Korea, because like I love Korea, but Korean education system really focuses much of their attention to just the academics and like not just like I guess a variety of
Okay.
academics, but more like I guess just like pure math, science, social studies, history, geography, you know, and like the level of I guess the materials we learn in Korea is amazing, but at the same time, it's just not really varied. And after experiencing those summer camps, I think I wanted to study more in the style of like experiencing a lot of things and having open path that I can explore rather than going through the track or the path of studying, which
Yeah.
is like predetermined for you to like just follow and delve in.
So you're an outstanding student. We know that now. We've
Uh,
seen that for the last 4 years. You're headed to Stanford University.
Thank you.
You were an outstanding student before you came here. So that means you probably could choose where you would want to go to boarding school.
Mm.
Why did you choose Iolani? Why did you choose Hawaii?
Well, first of all, like I've been to what Hawaii like around I think 3 times as like a family trip thing.
Okay.
And I mean, it was amazing. Like, it's like 180 degrees different from Korea. Like, the weather, like, the environment, like, the cityscape, landscape, like, hiking sunsets, you know, like, those beautiful stuff we can see around on the island. That's definitely one factor that helped me consider come here. And also, I got a recommendation from my uncle that this school is actually amazing and they're opening up a boarding program
Yeah.
this year. And I was like, wow, how would it feel to like join a boarding program that just opens this year, you know, like because all the other schools, the great schools in mainland, they advertise like, oh, we have like really prestigious like
For hundreds of years.
hundreds of years
Yeah.
definitely like oh yeah centuries you know
Yeah.
like yeah they like advertise in such a way that like their program is already perfected and like they've been doing this for a while so they know what they're doing but like here it was more like oh you know like we're doing this new journey we're going on this new journey and like we want some students abroad to like perfect it and like refine it you know so that like at the end of the 4 years when you graduate you have this full experience of like going through the hard times chaotic times and like refining the program yourself with your own input and making it into hopefully a better one
Yeah.
when you graduate. And like I think that's really the idea that really like caught my attention.
Oh.
And I think that was one of the biggest reason why I decided to come here.
Yeah, it was a pretty stark contrast when we're talking about a boarding school that does not exist.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
then you showed up on August 12th, 2018, along with that first cohort. I call them the pioneers because you guys were charting.
Definitely.
You know, I mean,
definitely.
Iolani had a boarding program before, but not here on the LOI campus and not for many decades. So I've always been interested in that, like making that decision to go somewhere and be a pioneer. And you can't really talk to a student that is in the program, like I'm sure you do when we're bringing in new students or you're meeting new students and talking about the program. But thank you for taking that leap and being one of those pioneers.
My honor.
And then it is amazing that we are sitting here in the courtyard of the residence hall, sunset, you know, that environment that you're talking about. We're doing it's the first podcast interview outside, I think. Yeah, this is fun. Yeah.
Wow.
But this building, this beautiful residence hall wasn't built.
Yeah.
So you guys came in, I think you remember we went down past the Castle building and went back toward the Banyan apartments. And then you guys checked into there, and it was a few months before you moved again into the residence hall. But
Yeah.
what do you think about, I see you smiling, what do you think about those Banyan days when you guys were out back there?
When me and my pioneers
Yeah.
refer to Banyan, like I don't know, we say those were like the golden ages, golden days. I mean, for sure, like Banyan was amazing.
Yeah.
4 roommates, one big room, one big suite, bathroom. You know, everything was there, like kitchen. It was like a small house.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, yeah, like living there with only like just about like 30 students, just about like more than 30 students. It was definitely a great experience because like the family like bond you can form in that environment just because like whether you like it or not, like you see them literally every day, and like just to get up to your floor or like just to get up to your room, you have to meet like so many different teachers and students, say hi and kind of get to know them. And I think that was really the good part of it, because I think the bonds we formed back then is definitely stronger one than the one you can form right now. Especially because like, I mean, obviously there were less students, and there were more opportunities for you to interact with one another. Yeah, like back then, all you can like the only place you could go was the common room, which was on the first floor of the building, which was like I guess it was like an empty room, but like we used this as a common room for all students, like male, female. We all went in there, watched movies, played games, watched like Super Bowl, had like I guess like Halloween decoration events, Christmas events
Yeah.
in that small tiny room. 30 students packed in there. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. Yeah, like to reemphasize, I guess like we call it the golden days because we have so much memories, and that's in that particular space.
I remember people saying, "Oh, they must want to move into the new dorm," and I was like, "Yeah, maybe." But do you know that they have their own bathrooms?
Own bathroom was
Like
great.
a living room.
Yeah, that was great.
And then when you moved into the residence hall that we're at now, what was that like?
Definitely an eye-opening experience. Just like the structure wise, and like I guess the looks wise, it was completely different from where we have been living for like the past semester and like a month or so. So yeah, it was amazing. I mean, the dorm looked really, really beautiful from the outside, like super modern, great design. I personally really like the color scheme and like the design of it.
Yeah,
But
there's a lot
like,
of detail. Yeah.
yeah, when we entered, there was like this large welcome to Iolani sign banner again. Although we have been here a semester already,
Yeah.
like it felt like I was re-experiencing that one day when I just came into the dorm, like that first day of move-in. Yeah, I think like the emotions I felt on that day when I moved into this new dorm was exactly the same as the emotions I felt when I first came to campus on the move-in day. Um, I mean, the facilities were amazing. Elevators, bathrooms, rooms. It used to be a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it was definitely a memorable day, especially considering that it was in our, I think, third quarter when we moved in.
Hmm.
And as we all say, third quarter is one of the toughest quarter.
Yeah.
It's like right after break when you kind of like want to slack off and like not do anything, just ignore all homeworks, just sleep in. But like, yeah, it was like a nice surprise after I came back from a tiring day of school.
It's a different layout. You got
Hmm.
the lobby situation, then you have the
Yeah.
you have the floors type situation with the
Hmm.
common room and the
Hmm.
floor and the study rooms, and then your your rooms is two per,
Hmm.
right? And then the bathroom,
Yeah, the
one for the
bathroom.
whole floor, not like the bedroom.
Unfortunate.
But really nice facilities
Hmm.
here. What is it? What has it been like since that first year? You were a freshman, and then you've welcomed new cohorts of
Hmm.
students
Hmm.
to this residence hall.
Hmm.
What is that like when the new students arrive and you get to meet them and show them around?
Mm. I mean, I'm sure it must have been a varying experience depending on your perspective. But for me personally, I always say to my friends too, but that period of time in the beginning of the year when me and my friends, or like, I guess the group of previous students, the returning students, get to, I guess, welcome the new group of students, the new cohort
Yeah.
to the dorm. I really, really value that experience. It's the most, I guess, enjoyable time of the year for me, especially because I love meeting new people. I guess you can say that it's kind of my hobby to like
Oh,
go meet new people, talk to them, form relationships, get to know them better, get to know what they like, where they're from, like their backstories. I really love doing that. So each year, that particular period of the year when the new students, the new cohort, the new, I guess, group to write on the history of the dorm comes in, like that was when I really, really enjoyed.
and so you've seen some of these students. I mean, you've been here the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You came in as a freshman, and
Mm.
you've seen other students
Mm-hmm.
grow. Some of
Yeah.
them have already graduated and came in, and spent 2 or 3 years here.
Mm-hmm.
Some came in this year, and even in the time period of a year. But is it kind of neat to see them grow and then kind of think, "Hey, that was me. I'm different." You know?
Yeah, I for sure. As a student who has been here 4 years, I've seen students both enter and leave the dorm. I mean, it's definitely always sad to see group of graduates or a group of seniors, which would be me and my friends this year, to graduate the program and I guess go to either mainland or other colleges to do better, to experience better. It's definitely always emotional and sad experience. I mean, I'm really happy for them, but like the times we spent together really, really was like a super valuable experience for me. And I think I'm always kind of sad when they leave. But at the same time, seeing how much the students grew up or how much like we developed as a whole from like a bunch of child or like bunch of animals into like regular humans.
Regular humans.
That's definitely a neat experience that you can have, or the experience you can have only when you're in the dorm.
I feel like you have a story to tell. You're talking about a bunch of animals.
No, I just refer to me and my group of OGs, pioneers, as a bunch of animals because like when we first came into the Banyan, I don't know, we were kind of rowdy, loud, kind of rebellious. Some are still rebellious, but yeah, definitely a way more, I guess, in a state of like unrefined state because we all were like less experienced with the boarding program or like how how the life is like to be a boarding student. And after 4 years, like we know a lot, we've been through a lot, so I guess that's why I just like refer to us as a group from a bunch of animals into humans.
No, I know what you feel. I know what you're talking about. And when I see you guys, and not just you and your friends, but all of the boarding students as they are here at the dorm or around campus or at different events, I have to keep reminding myself, oh, they live here too. They're not just like me and my friends. We're still very close to this day. We went to school here, but we didn't live at the school. And maybe we kind of maybe would want to. I don't know. It seemed like it's fun. What is that like? I mean, you don't really know anything different in your high school life. Going to school with people, day students, dorm students, but you live here. You get to spend a lot of time with a certain section of people, and I'm sure there's cycles in that, and it's there's some challenges, but what is that like to not only go to school with students, but also to live with
Living in the
here?
dorm here, I mean, first of all, like before I say anything, it's definitely a privilege because you get to spend so much time with your friends without your parents on like this nice island, nice campus, and you also get to use like the campus facilities
Yeah.
for free. So
This is your home.
yeah.
Your home has basketball courts and a pool and a weight room and tennis.
yeah, for sure. Like it feels nice to live in a home with swimming pool, like chapel, courtyard, basketball court.
Yeah.
So I guess it has been definitely an amazing, pleasant experience. But like, few things that I want to point out is that sometimes going back to the dorm after a tiring day is not like as good because you're still in school. Like everyone has those like bad days where like nothing goes the way they plan. Like the horrible in test. You missed the homework by
Yeah.
accident. Like I have definitely had a lot of those days when like bad things accumulated, and like by the end of the school day, I was like, oh my god, I'm so tired. Like I need some rest. But like
And there's no change of scenery.
yeah, like you can't, like this is your home, but at the same time it's your school.
Yeah.
So like no change of scenery. You still have to go to these dinner check-ins. You can't just like sleep in and like try skip dinner, or like you don't have this super, I guess, like comfy privacy, especially because you live in the dorm. So I guess like for those days when you were super tired or like when you needed super home-like vibe
Yeah.
after school, dorm is certainly like not the best experience you can have. But on days when you need like support from your friends or when you just need some kind of emotional support or just someone to talk to, dorm was definitely the place you can come back always to just meet friends who were in lobby, just talk about your day, talk about how hard it was, like what kind of help you need.
Yeah.
Get some emotional help. You always have like friends to, I guess, like trash talk with you.
And they go to the same school.
Yeah,
They're
and
the
they go to
same
the
age,
same
a lot
school.
of them, and they know what you're speaking of.
Yeah, you can always like come back to talk about how horrible the test was, how mean the teacher was, like on that specific question, so tricky, all those stuff. Like day students, of course, they can like meet each other after school, but like most of the times, they just go back home and then come back out, or they just go back home to call each other. But like we can just see each other face to face in the dorm. If you want to meet someone, just call them down to Wang Trainer lobby, and then we can just talk about our day. So that was one thing that like really supported my school days here.
So Andrew, there's the students,
Hmm.
but there's also the dorm parents.
Yeah, definitely.
That is also. And here's one of them. Everybody's coming to go to. Where are you going?
We're going to dinner.
You going to dinner?
We're going to dinner.
Put on your headset.
Hi, everybody.
Hey. So tell me about first, Andrew. Tell me about the dorm parents. Don't think about one of them that now has joined us.
That's glaring down at him right now.
Disregarding the fact that she's standing right next to me, looking at me. Dorm parents, definitely amazing. I've seen a lot of dorm parents come and go. Orantile was one of the ones who have been here for a while, caring for us, supporting us.
From the beginning.
From the beginning till now. She was like our mom. A lot of students got like some packing help from her.
Gave them packing lessons.
For sure. Some of my friends really needed that.
I know, yes.
Or just cleaning room in general.
So Le Fortuno has joined us, and when I started at Iolani School, I was housed in the at the advancement office, and
Yes.
Lei was there. So
Yeah.
she was among the people who helped me acclimate to Iolani School.
Yeah.
But Lei, tell me about Andrew here.
Andrew, when he came in 9th grade, we were still at the Banyan, yeah?
Yep.
And they all lived in the apartments that we are now the faculty is living
Yeah.
in now. And I remember sitting in the common room and watching movies with them and just having a ball. The kids were great. And I called him the professor since the 9th grade because
Even in 9th grade, it's
at
already
night-
the professor.
Well, because he was the one tutoring everybody else and not doing his homework.
Oh, wow.
So I told him, you got to make time for your homework. But I found out yesterday, or on the cruise that we went on, that he actually was doing that because he didn't want to do his homework.
What?
Right.
Doing other people's homework?
No. He was tutoring. He was actually tutoring
Helping other
them
people with their homework.
in all subjects. So I was like, wow, this kid is in 9th grade is just teaching even the older kids.
So in 9th grade, if I told you, hey, this guy's going to Stanford, you would not have been surprised.
No, I would not.
Thank you.
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah, it's been so awesome watching him grow, watching all the kids grow up and becoming the young adults they are. I'm gonna miss them, and I'm still holding back the tears because I know it's gonna come. Yeah, they're just like my own kids. So
Less than 48 hours.
I know.
They will be graduates, alumni
Yeah.
of Iolani School.
It's crazy.
And then in your day job, then you'll be putting out their name to the alumni
Well,
rolls.
it's already there. Already updated it. Yeah.
That's so awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank
you for adding your perspective.
Yeah. Okay. I have to go check in the kids now at dinner. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Auntie. Love you too.
So, tell me about that. Like, there's a collection of house parents that spend time with you guys and make sure that things are going well, and they work here. Some work in offices, some are teachers. Tell me more about that system of the house parents and the students.
I guess like the generality of the structure or how it works is that I guess faculties and teachers come back to the dorm after school to care for us, and I think that's the part that I really really liked, and that's really really special. especially for me, because I still talk about this with my parents, but it's really helpful. It's really helpful, indeed, to have those faculties and teachers in the dorm, especially because they're also your resource to utilize to, I guess, get help studying subjects or just even just adjusting to your school life. To have someone like them to support you, not only emotionally, but also like, I guess, unpacking or just academics or studying wise, to have them around to just ask
Yeah.
questions, ask like anything you don't know, ask any questions about like even just the island or like where to go, like restaurant recommendations. Like having them around is an amazing experience because it's like you're having a friendly version of like Siri or like Google,
Yeah.
but like more caring and loving version, like not that like robotics monotone voice.
If you're a student that's new to Hawaii, some of the house parents are from Hawaii. They
Hmm.
grew up in Hawaii. A
Hmm.
few of them went to Iolani school. Kevin Tomisato, Chase Wiggins. That's
Yeah.
that's 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 got to be comforting when you guys go and venture out off campus and
Hmm.
taking some events and
Hmm. Hmm.
activities.
Yeah. Uncle Kev, Mr. Tomisato, definitely like those kind of teachers are the ones who taught us like the way of life on Hawaii, like the culture. You really don't get much of culture or learn about culture in school.
Yeah,
You really focus more on academics and like,
or your
yeah, your
extracurriculars. Yeah,
extracurriculars, club activities, sports. Those are the ones or the specific areas you focus in school during your daytime. During weekends, I mean, of course, you can search some places up, go out, I guess, like walk around island in general with your friends to really try to get the full experience of it. But I think personally, there's like limitations to where you can go or like the places you can end up in
yeah,
if you're just trying to explore the island by yourself. Like the real gold gems or like the real places that you really want to go on island. Like you can only, I guess, get introduced to those places through people who have been living on the island or people who knows well about the culture. Like I think the conversation between the students and like the faculties here are like the key to get to know more about Hawaii and the way of life here.
yeah. Because you guys are choosing to come to school in Hawaii, which is a special, different place. It used to
Yeah.
be its own nation.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most isolated landmass on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of your education here at Iolani School
Mm-hmm.
to be in
Mm-hmm.
Hawaii and to learn about it. Has that been that aspect of it been fun? Has that been what you were looking for, or is it kind of an added value?
Um, I would say that it's definitely the part that I have been looking for in my life as a student. As I mentioned before, I thought that a life of a high schooler in Korea might be a teeny tiny bit boring for me.
Mm,
And I was really looking for this full aspect of not just studies and like extracurriculars grades, but like more on the cultural experience or just the experience of the environment and like the land or the island as a whole, not just like in school, but in terms of like what you can do in the city or what you can do in that specific region. And I think coming here and doing those fun activities, visiting beaches, going to hikes, surfing, and those kind of stuff with faculties and with your friends is certainly a great part of a high school life that I've been seeking for.
what's been your favorite activity, or the one that surprised you the most? Or
Ooh, um, I mean, surfing is definitely one of them. Although I hadn't had a lot of experience slash like opportunity to really go there, but it's really fun when you just go out with your friends or teachers like rent a surfing board, go out to the beach, just try it out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like super tiring. Like movies, you see all these like really like jacked people on like surfing board, like just cruising, and
Make it
like
look easy.
yeah, in reality, it's just you like looking back at the waves, like just waiting when it comes, and when the right one comes, like you gotta start paddling your arms, but like it's definitely not that easy. Like
No, it's not.
like most of the times, the wave just like goes past by you, and you're like, oh shoot, I missed one again. But yeah, it's definitely a valuable experience that you can have. I think one another experience would be like hiking. Like there's a lot of mountains, a lot of hiking trails you
Yeah.
can go. They're like tourist easy ones, and like they're like muddy, like rainy trail, like real wildlife ones, and that full spectrum of what you can do, or the routes or the path you can choose to hike is definitely a golden experience you can only have in this particular island.
And if you have the right people taking you to surf
sure,
spots
for
or
sure.
hiking spots, so that's really valuable. Very cool. I want to touch upon something that I think is special to you: robotics. So the robotics team here, you guys competed at the World Championships.
Yeah.
You went on an Ignite trip as well. What do you love about robotics?
Wow. Robotics has been the definition, I guess, the other definition of my high school life.
Wow.
I spent so much time on that particular club, extracurricular. So much time preparing for just competitions, outreach opportunities, just learning the skills needed to compete and help the club out. I first joined robotics in my freshman year, so as soon as I came in, or more like knowing that I would join the Iolani community, I knew that, or I learned that this school had an amazing robotics club, and it was definitely the part of the experience that I would have loved to try it out. So, from the first day going to school, I knew that I would join the robotics club. I definitely did not know how or like where I would have to go to join the club, but yeah, one thing for sure was that I was going to join the robotics club. After like a few weeks of school, just getting used to how it's like here, what the classes are like, just get to knowing my classmates and teachers. I joined the robotics club. Miss Hashiki, and Miss Sims, and a few other Mr. Van Kirk, a few other coaches were there, and they were the very first ones to, I guess, greet me, and along with me, a few other students, just giving us an introduction about how it's like here, what it's like to join robotics like after school club, and what it's like to just compete in a competition. First year was like hectic because I wanted to join the club, but I didn't know anything about the club, like like 3D computer CADing, just like using tools like screwdrivers, like wrenches, Allen keys. I didn't even know what they were called. Like the only thing I knew was like, I guess like nails and like woods. Yeah. So yeah, I really joined the club not knowing anything, not having any prior knowledge or experience about robotics.
You just like the idea of it, competing or building or making things move.
I just like the idea of like
Engineering.
robot, like
Yeah, yeah, of course.
how cool is that? You know, like making something out of like your own hand and like steel, wood, aluminum, whatever, and like making it move automatically. Like I think the idea just of it just captivated me. And then that's why I joined the club. Yeah, as I said, the first year was crazy. I didn't really know anything. There were a lot to learn, but the first year was definitely special because that was the year I got to go to my first world championship. And like for a robotics club, it's definitely a unique experience and a rare one because our school robotic club is amazing, but it's not like a guaranteed thing that you can go to the world championship.
Yeah.
Like you really have to work for it, but on top of that, you also have to be kind of lucky because all other, I guess, teammates or the new students and the returning students to the club needs to be, um, I guess, aboard with the idea of like really trying for that and really making a great bot, which you can compete in like not only regionals but also world championship. So yeah, I was really really lucky to attend the world championship that year. But I would have to say that um, most of us kind of earned the opportunity because the practice is demanding. It's like you have to go. Back then, we had to go to practice after school and on Saturdays.
Mm.
So it would be like from Monday to Saturday, like at least 2 hours.
Wow.
Sometimes on Saturdays, it would start like right after lunch and last up to like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. At night.
Well, good thing you live here next to the
For sure.
Sullivan Center.
That was easy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
transportation was definitely not a problem for me.
Yeah. Well, it paid
Like
off.
skills. Yeah,
You
it
guys
definitely
got
paid
back
off.
to the World Championships this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, and one thing I really, really love about the robotics club here is like, I guess the atmosphere. It's like family. Like
Mm.
it's we're not just a team. We're just a big family of like nerds, I guess. Yeah, like we love programming, building, designing, whatever we love to do. Like we communicate, cooperate, like we talk as friends, but we also talk as like families, also as like brothers,
Mhm.
sisters, um, and that full experience you can have in robotics is certainly something that you can't have in I think any other clubs.
That must have been
Yeah,
a lot of fun to travel with your robotics family to Houston and
yeah.
compete against the world's best.
Mm-hmm. Also, like not only the World Championship or regional travel, but we also go on like Ignite travel.
Hmm.
Ignite is like a separate branch or like a cohort of robotics where we try to form these, I guess, communications or relationships with schools and different teams abroad. I think we have like what, 51 teams and schools
Wow.
across the world right now that we have relationship with.
What
But
was your
anyways,
Ignite trip to?
oh, Ignite trip was to New Zealand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what we basically do is we create these outreach opportunities. Try to like, I guess, give opportunities to people in indigenous areas or people who live in regions where technology is not as developed or technology is not as accessible. We go to those areas. We try to go to those areas. Um, Build curriculums, bring iPads, all the other technologies, right from Hawaii to them, and we exchange, I guess, the experience because what we provide is, I guess, the basic stuff they need to really like get the full experience of like what education is like.
Yeah.
If you have like all these um, benefits, privileges provided to you already. And what we get is the cultural experience, what it's like to live there, what they do on a day-to-day basis, how it's like to be a student in that specific region. Those are the valuable stuff that we get out of those trips, and we just barely provide. We just merely provide technology to them.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
And you get to see what it's like in New Zealand.
Yeah. And like a lot of the times, those experiences definitely pay off
Yeah.
because, well, first of all, it helps us compete in the actual world championship. It's a prize called Chairman's Award, and that's given to the team who have been doing those amazing stuff, just trying to, I guess, give equal opportunity to all other regions, teams, students in the world for STEM. And yeah, and also like years after those trips or years after those experiences, looking back at the experience, like you really have this super enjoyable memory that you can always refer to and talk about it with your friends. So it's definitely something that I would recommend to a lot of students.
Listening to you, I got to ask about time management.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're at school, robotics is taking up a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are achieving, and that's not without putting in long hours.
Mm-hmm.
You've done well in school, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You live here.
Yeah.
You're with your friends all the time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how do you manage the time?
Time management.
Do you have any tips for other students?
Tips. I don't know. I don't know if I'm the best student to ask about
Well, how do
time
you do it?
management because I'm a big time procrastinator. Well, I call myself
Your results don't indicate that. So
I call myself a purposeful procrastinator
Okay.
because, well, I believe that I work better under stress and pressure, and that's why, sometimes I just tend to like let myself do whatever I want until like late at night and start working because like that's when I can really get, I guess, productive. But freshman year, when I was not used to this school's system or just in general how it works, I used to go to library every day after school, just do homework,
That's good.
go eat dinner, come back, do homework, and then go to sleep. Like
Wow.
my, I guess, usage of phone per day was I think under like 2 hours or like even 1 hour. Like that's how much I studied or how much like I spent most of my time in academics and like school life. But once you get used to the school, like you find yourself finishing off your work and homework like way quicker than when you first did it. And time management wise, I think one thing you have to like keep in mind is that like having break is great. Like it's definitely a necessary part, but you have to kind of know that you must sacrifice a big part of your free time, meaning your like game or whatever hobby
Yeah.
time to really experience like extracurriculars, clubs, sports, like if you want to have the full spectrum of high school experience, then those are certainly the parts you really have to sacrifice. And I also say this a lot, but to people or to students who really study like all day long, I mean, I truly respect and admire their effort and passion because I know that I can never do that. But I found it helpful to have some kind of break, whether it be sports or like just hobby, whatever you like.
Yeah.
Having those break times is definitely important because at one point your efficiency of studying drops down to like rock bottom where like whatever you study during that hour or like 30-minute period, like it's not gonna stay in your brain. And that's like when you know that you really need a break to I guess become efficient again and like start working again. So I think that's one of the things I say a lot to my friends.
Great. It worked for you. You're
Yeah.
headed to Stanford University, Leland Stanford Junior University in Palo Alto, California.
Hmm.
Is that your first choice? That is the
Yes,
dream school of many.
It was my dream school too.
So that just, again, the look on your face, you accomplished that goal. You were a sixth grader. You wanted to go to college in the United States.
Hmm.
You've been accepted and will be going to your dream school. What are you going to study in Palo Alto?
I would say undecided yet, just to be safe, but definitely STEM related. I'm looking into like CS or
Computer
something. Yeah,
science?
computer science or just like biotechnology side right now. But I think I'm gonna get there, experience how it's like to be in college, and then start choosing my options.
What was it like when you got the acceptance? Kind of paint that picture for me.
I was in Korea. It was during winter break.
Okay.
I knew that morning in Korean time was when the acceptance result was going to come out. So I woke up early. I think the time for release of the results was around, I think, 9 a.m. I actually woke up at around 6 a.m. because I was super nervous.
I bet.
My parents thought I was sleeping because I didn't come out of my room.
Oh.
I was just under my blanket looking at my phone.
For 3 hours?
Yeah, for 3 hours, not knowing what to do. I was so nervous. I mean, as much as I was excited to see the result come out finally, all these worries and thoughts going through my head, flying through it, thinking what if I don't get in?
Yeah.
What if I get rejected from this college?
So it's an email? An email shows up?
Well, you have to log into the portal.
It's an app or something?
It's a website.
Wow.
Yeah. So you log into the portal and then just type your login information in, and then it would show you this small hyperlink to whether
To
you
something?
have
to fireworks?
to your result.
Wow.
And yeah, that's really the moment where you really don't want to press. Yeah, and then
And then it launches into a page that says,
that
congratulations.
it launches into I guess a document, and depending on whether you got in or not, it says congratulations or thank you so much for.
Wow. Back in our day, 35 years ago, you went to your mailbox and you got big letters and small letters or thick letters. But
Yeah. I think an equivalent of that would be the first line. Because if it says congratulations first, then it means you got accepted.
Yeah.
But if it says thank you, then,
Oh, yeah.
then most of the times it means thank you for your application. But unfortunately,
Yeah. That's the big packet versus the
the small
letter.
Yeah.
A long time ago. Oh, man. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Andrea.
much.
So happy for you. We're all so proud of you and all your classmates in the class of 2022. You'll be leaving Iolani. You'll be leaving Hawaii. I think you'll be back as a visitor, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure.
Once a Raider, always a Raider. You're
Definitely.
always welcome. What are you going to miss the most? Do you know yet?
I think, I don't know, it hasn't hit yet, but I think I'm just gonna miss the entirety of the school. It means so much to me. Iolani, the hawk right there, right in front of Weinberg, or just the dorm itself. I have so much memories in all parts of the campus. Yeah, so much precious memories, so many good friends. Class of 2022, it's they're amazing.
Yeah.
They're so smart. They're gonna do a lot of great stuff out there. But yeah, I think I'm gonna miss the school so much as a whole.
And we will miss you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your 4 years here. Thank you for being a pioneer and kind of doing what you set out to do, being one of the people to kind of get this thing going.
Yeah.
It's been fun to watch you guys grow in these 4 years since August of 2018. Thanks so much for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.